Hi guys, welcome back to Cheney's TCG store. Today I have another market watch for you. We're going to go over some cards that have been moving on the market. A lot of cards I've noticed have been going mostly down though, which is very interesting in this point of the year. Usually this happens a little bit later on, past your nationals and big tournaments. But we're going to take a look at it and see if we can make sense of it. So first is going to be Mystic Mine, which the gold rare is up near $5. But plenty of copies here still available, and the prismatic secret rare is going for around 14, which is surprising, but it's also seeing a lot of play right now. Unfortunately, I mean, this is probably the card that I hate more than life itself. Super rare Mystic Mine is going for around 7 to 8, depending on if you have the first edition or unlim, which isn't too big of a movement for that particular copy, but the other ones are definitely up in price. I remember the gold rares being like $1, so pretty crazy to see. I was hoping they would, eventually move this onto the ban list and just get it out of the game. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Some reason I wanted to do an update, but we're not going to do that right now. But yeah, I think if they wanted to keep this at one copy per se, that would be fine. But at the same time, then it kind of becomes a little bit sacky, but it's a little bit easier to deal with because I think less people would focus their decks around Mystic Mine. Like right now, if you're the turn one player and you're going through a bunch of cards in your deck and then the person going second slaps Mystic Mine, they automatically win if you don't have an out, which just seems like a cheap shot, really. I understand people's argument that Mystic Mine is healthy for the game because it helps slow down or punish combo players. But I just think that at the end of the day, it's like if you have to rely on drawing like a card that you would not necessarily have in your main deck to have a chance at playing the game, it's just not fair. And Mystic Mine just doesn't promote a healthy game state where there's interaction between both players. I think if you look at it like some of the other cards we've had that do kind of a similar thing, like True King of All Calamities, Utopic Zexal, cards like that just don't allow your opponent to play. It's just usually unhealthy for the game, and eventually I do put them on the ban list. But a lot of people are saying that Mystic Mine is kind of like the max C for the TCG. But regardless, I hope they get rid of this or at least limit the amount of copies you can play in the future. But if you have any extra copies, I would just sell them, especially if you're not playing them because they are up pretty far in price. Next is Vanity Rulers, the ultimate rare from CyberDark Impact. I've noticed Drytron is coming back a little bit into the format, doing pretty well, and the main reason is Vanity's Ruler. It just shuts your opponent down from being able to special summon, which is really, really good. And it's high attack at 2,500, so it's really hard to get over as well. Of course, there are outs like Droplets, Lightning Storm, stuff like that, depending on if your opponent has negates or not. But just a super good card, and this particular version looks really, really good as well. It's going for around $60 for Light Play First Edition, which I think is a steal, in my opinion, for this card. But then the near mints are 94. So if you're going to buy this card, I would go with the lightly played here because it's a $34 difference between a light play and a near mint. And I mean, this is an old card, so it's most likely not going to be really mint. So I would probably roll the dice and go with the light play, but up to you. Next is going to be Albedo, the Jester of Despia secret rare. We know a lot about this card already. We've talked about it a bunch on this channel. Super good card for Despia. Unfortunately, Despia just hasn't been doing as well as initially thought. Don't get me wrong, it's still probably the best deck, but a lot of other decks and rogue decks are able to compete with this deck. Especially Sword Soul. And I noticed this last weekend we saw one tournament where Flunderies did really good, had 2 Flunderies decks in top cut while there was only one Despia deck in the top 8, which is pretty crazy to see as well. I mean, I know Flunderies is really good, but so I think a lot of people are selling this deck off because we're already anticipating like Splight and Tier Limits coming out. So they're like, well, it's not as good as we thought it was going to be, or even though it is really powerful. So you have like the people that want to sell their deck because splites are coming, or they're just bored of this deck. Who knows? It's probably a combination of things. But if you wanted to get the secret rares, I think it's really cheap right now. Like you might as well just go ahead and get it. I'm probably just gonna sell my ultra rares and just get the secrets at this price point. I was already thinking about it when they were like 40, but now they're like $23. This is the lowest they've ever been for this version. And the secret rares just look so much better than the ultra rares. Honestly, the ultra rares just look terrible. They just look really cheap and the coloring is terrible. Next is Cosmic Cyclone Secret from Speed Duel Battle City Box. Right now, these are sitting at $12 to $13. But they quickly go up here to 20 and there's no wall. So if you want to pick these up, I would go ahead and do them. It's a great version to have, let me tell you, because it just looks like the foiling looks really good. And if you haven't seen these secret rares from the Battle City box or the Speed Duel boxes, they're just really sturdy and just feel higher quality. Even though I'm not a big fan of the whole Speed Duel text on here, it's worth it. Like it's really not that noticeable. It's less noticeable than what it looks like here. You kind of can see it like in different, if you like kind of hold it up to the light, but it's not super noticeable. But as long as Speed Duels are around, they're going to want to play a Cosmic Cyclone, and there's only 2 commons, I believe, and this one secret rare for that format. So these are going to have, that's going to be less so, like that's going to be a little bit of traction for this card, but also Cosmic Cyclone is like one of the best spell and trap removal cards we have in the TCG as well. And there's one ultimate rare, which is pretty expensive. It's like 140. And then we have the original print secret rare. And then we have a mega pack secret rare. And then we have this secret rare. But I sold my mega pack secret rares to get this because I like this better, to be honest with you. And I think this does better in price. We can look at the other Cosmic Cyclones, but these are pretty scarce too, because they like really did not print a bunch of boxes of Battle City, which is why it like spiked like double its MSRP price like almost immediately. One of the best boxes to have like pre-ordered a case of, because it's just done really well over time. And we're not seeing like a lot of copies come on the market to replenish the ones that are missing. Okay, so the ultimate rare is 120 here, which is not too bad. I would consider doing that if you wanted to go for a high rarity version. OTS Tournament Pack 7 is quite old now. But you also see the Dark Illusion here. I believe it's around 18 to 20, which is still cheap as well for the first edition print. We're going to take a look though and see what we got. So mod play 13, light play 1350, not bad. You might want to consider that too. Say if you're going to pick up one that wasn't ultimate rare, either get the first edition original print or get the Speed Duel box. I would just skip the mega pack one. Okay, near mint $18. That's really, really good, honestly. So yeah, up to you if you want to get. I will say the Speed Duel ones move pretty good as well. Like a lot of those copies sell. From my experience, I've been through a few in my time. The mega packs are $750. That is the cheapest secret rare. If you want to do it, that's fine. But if you were gonna, think about doing the ultra rare Dual Devastator, I would stay away from it. And either just get the mega pack or one of the other secret rares. Because these are already $4 for near mint here, which is not much less expensive than $7. It's almost double the price, but it's worth it in the long run. No matter what secret rare you have, it's going to always hold value. It's just a very strong card. But the mega packs aren't going to be as good as the original print or the Speed Duel. Moving on, I wanted to cover Dark Ruler because this card hasn't been seeing too much play in a while, but it's also kind of format dependent, like all things are. But this card's really, really powerful, and it's definitely like one of the strongest board breakers we have. And the Prismatic Secret Rare is down to like $8 to $9, and it's from the 2019 10, so it is starting to age quite a bit. We'll be going on 3 years now. And then the other versions that we have are like $2 and $2 here for the structure decks. So we only have one holo printing. I would say go for the Prismatic Secret Rare because it's just worth it. This was like $15 to $17 for quite a while before it got the reprint. but it's always been around 10. But I think this card will age nicely. But yeah, up to you, like all things. Let me clear this real quick. Did it again. Sorry about that. All right, moving on. Okay, so I also wanted to take a look at Sangan because this card is seeing play in a lot of decks too. I've been playing around with it in a punk synchro build, and it's just really powerful being able to normal summon and search out your Crusadia Arborea to go into your Hulk of Fibrax without using a normal summon effect, which means you can also use your adventure token engine, which is really good as well as a mix. And then your punks, hopefully you can get to your effects without using a normal summon, like for example using emergency teleport. But that kind of doesn't always work. Sometimes you just draw your level 3 monster and you need to normal summon it and use its effect, but you have to kind of just weigh your options with your opening hand and see what your best play is. But secret rares, $31 going up to $35 here. These are bought out, it looks like, for the most part, because these were going for around 23 to 25 when I looked a couple days ago. We'll check and see though, see what they're going for. I imagine probably near 40. Yep, $40 here for near mint first edition. That's surprising, but not too surprising. It does bottom out here. It's almost $80. And you know what? This secret rare is probably like the most played version out of all of them, like all the different rarities, because it traditionally has been like one of the more affordable holo versions of Sangan, but it's always been around like $18 to $25 for the last couple of years at least. I think there was a point where it was like 15. That's when I picked up a couple, but I sold them when they got it back up to like 28 for a while. But now I have like the Hobby League, which is my favorite version, and then I also have a Turbo Pack Ultra Rare. But we will look at all rarities here. There's not a lot of holo printings of this card, and the ones that we do have are really old. So pretty much any holo version is going to be really expensive. So the Super Sangans are going to be over $100 easy. Turbo Pack, around 60 here for an English version for lightly played, and I think it's like 70 to 75 for a near mint. Dark Legends bought out completely here, $50 lowest, and then going to 60. But honestly, I wouldn't get the Dark Legends. Like if you're going to spend 50 to 60 bucks, just get the Turbo Pack Booster 6 version, or if you want to get like a whole playset for that price, you can also do the Hobby Leagues, which are around $20 to $21. And Hobby League 2 is really old, and the card looks amazing. And I think the reason why it's so low in price is a lot of people think that you can't legally play these. But I've talked to a bunch of people, and there's no official ruling that says you can't play it. And I think now it's even more legal than ever, because even though it wasn't like a specific rule, the problem with Hobby Leagues is a lot of times they would taco, or you could they were kind of thick cards, so you could tell. So a judge could just rule that, it's not legal like at a specific tournament. But now with double sleeving and stuff, it's impossible to tell which ones are Hobby League and which ones aren't. Unless you're like, I don't know, like a professional, like you trained to figure it out. But I honestly tested it out, and I still play with Hobby League cards, and I've never had a problem personally. I usually only go to locals though. I'm not really going to YCSs right now. So I guess it would depend on your locals too, but I've never had a problem, and I've been to several locals in Atlanta, and then when I used to live in North Carolina. The gold rare is 14. It's not a terrible looking version. I do like the 2009 gold series. These are like the only gold rares that I ever liked. They just were high quality back then, even though it's kind of like not the coolest looking gold. The foiling looks really good, and I think the lettering on the names look really good as well. You could tell it's really high quality print. But everything in gold series 2009 has been going up in price recently. Then besides that, we have a Dark Beginning 2 rare. I guess if you're not going for a holo version, that's probably not the worst one to get. But we have a bunch of like common and rare prints. I believe there's also rare in not Toon Kingdom. What is that? Toon Chaos? Yeah, Toon Chaos, I believe. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's only, let's see, in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 holo versions, but all of them are like 10 years or older. Next, I wanted to cover Masquerade. So like I've been saying with the like Albedo and stuff, the prices on Despia stuff has been falling out quite a bit. This is down to $23 now, $22.50 really. When this was up to almost $50, like 45 here, I remember it being like $49.99. I don't know if any actually sold for that price, but these were selling like crazy. I think a lot of sellers were hoarding these, or they were hoarding boxes of Bursts of Destiny. But once we started seeing like the prices of Bursts of Destiny just go insane, I think either people like started selling their hoarded copies, or they started opening more product to, you know, make good money, because absolutely Burst of Destiny is a very profitable box if you got them for like $60. But yeah, pretty crazy to see. Do I think it's going to bounce back? Probably not, honestly. I think it'll probably hover between $22 to $30. It might bounce back a little bit towards like 25 to 28. But I think from what I've heard, a lot of people are selling this deck and moving on to something else. And lastly, I know we've covered this a few times, but I just wanted to, you know, give an update on Feast of Starfrost, secret rare from Dimension Force. It is bought up pretty much. You know, it's now starting at $12.79. Looks like there's one lightly played here for, no, never mind, it's $5 shipping, so it's still like $12. And then it goes to 14 here, and then bottoms out at the bottom of the page at $20, which is pretty crazy. I thought this card could increase in price from $6 when I bought mine, but I had no idea it would go to like 15 or 20 like anytime soon. But I haven't really seen too many deck lists with this card being played. I would be interested to see who's playing it, because I'm testing it out like with the whole Punk deck that I put together. But I'm interested to see what other people are doing with this card. If you play this card, let me know. Let me know what you are doing with this card. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.